Hi, this is Dr. Bev Knox from BevKnox.com. I'm here today to talk to you about Albert Bandura's study on aggression. And you know, there's a famous study that Albert Bandura did, and it was called the Bobo doll experiment, okay? And a lot of you guys, if you've taken, any psychology courses, this is like a core video that is shown in psychology courses. I, for one, show this video in all my introduction to psychology courses and variations of other classes. I show this video. So if you haven't seen the video, I encourage you to go on to YouTube and just type in Bandura's Bobo doll experiment. That's Bandura, 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 Bobo, Bobo doll experiment. And I want you to watch this video in its entirety. Most of the videos on this experiment is only about 5 minutes, a little more than 5 minutes long. So it won't take, very much of your time. But mostly, the study focused on children and aggression, how children actually imitate the behavior of adults. Now, think of this, okay? And I'm not here to bash television shows and video games or any of that. It's coming up in a minute, okay? But first of all, the experiment actually showed, he had like variation of groups of kids. Let's just talk about two right now. Some kids that did not see a video with an adult beating a Bobo doll. And we know what a Bobo doll is, right? It's like a blow-up doll that you could like do this to it and it goes down, it comes up and so forth. And kids that did not see the woman beating on the Bobo doll, when they were placed in the room with the Bobo doll there, they weren't aggressive to the Bobo doll. They played with all the other toys that are there and they were playing as kids. But the kids who actually viewed the video with the adult beating on the Bobo doll, okay, and again, watch the video because you'll see the variation of the adult beating on the Bobo doll. You'll see to what extent the adult actually, beat on the Bobo doll. The kids who actually saw the video with the adult beating on the Bobo doll, guess what? They imitated the behavior. They did the same thing. They also beat on the Bobo doll. But it doesn't stop there. They actually went over and beyond that. They used little other toys as weapons. Okay, the little girl used a doll and started beating the Bobo doll with the doll, with her own little doll. And you see a little boy using a toy gun to pretty much shoot the Bobo doll and was saying like, bad words to the Bobo doll. They were quite hostile, even more so than what they saw. So this is what the study concludes, is that pretty much kids that are introduced to aggression at an early age, they too imitate the aggressive acts, but they become more aggressive than what they originally saw. Now, there are studies and studies and studies that are done on, television shows and video games. So let's talk about television shows now. We know that there are more aggressive television shows, more television shows with, sexual innuendos and doing things like drinking and drugging and all that stuff. And it's widely accepted now. A lot of these reality shows show just this, right? A lot of the reality shows, so everybody's sleeping with each other, very, loose morals, drinking and drugging, partying nonstop, and they have money, but where's the money coming from? They're not really working for their money and all this stuff, right? A lot of the shows now on primetime TV, and even before primetime, the violence has quadrupled that of 30 years ago. A lot of the shows that you're seeing now on TV, the level of violence and sexual innuendos have quadrupled today than of 30 years ago. Unbelievable. So we've got our young impressionable minds, our children, okay, sitting there and watching these shows on TV. I mean, it's not rated R or not even PG-13. It's on regular TV. So you're watching these shows, these shoot 'em up shows, because it's entertaining to you. And you're saying, well, why should I worry? I mean, it's on regular TV and my kids get to watch it and there's no problem with that, right? So your kids are exposed to a high level of violence on a daily basis because you choose to watch certain television shows in front of them. What do you think is happening to their mind? So they're seeing gunshots and they're seeing fights and they're seeing, people being verbally, aggressive to one another on a daily basis via the television set. What do you think that's doing to them? Do you think it's conditioning them perhaps to act a certain way or to accept these things as being normal? I think so. Let's go to video games. And some of you guys are going to hate what I have to say. And I have to say this. I say this, every time before I talk about video games in my college classrooms. I say the exact same thing. Some of you guys are going to hate what I have to say in regards to video games. Because why? Because you guys play video games nonstop as a form of entertainment and think it's okay. If you're an adult and you have some basic form of reasoning, sure, that's fine. Play your video games. You know the difference between right and wrong, right? Sure you do. But you've got a young, impressionable mind. You've got kids that are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old playing adult labeled video games. And now there's labeling on the video games. We know that. There are video games that is, for mature audiences only, for adults only. Kids should not be playing these games. But these kids get their hand on these games. Some of their parents buy it for them and ignore the label warning. Sure they do. So you've got these young kids playing these, and I won't name any of these video games. You guys know which ones I'm talking about. But all it is a killing. It's killing and killing and killing. And the more you kill, the more points you get. There are some video games where you actually get to rape women. Sure, you get to rape women, and the more you rape and sleep with prostitutes and cut their heads off and take the money back, you get bonus points for that. Shame on you, I say. Shame on you for buying such trash for your young children with these young little impressionable minds. So you've got these 5, 6-year-olds playing these games non-stop. What do you think that does to their psyche? What do you think that does to their psyche? I want you to take a deep look at yourself. If you're one of these parents that I'm talking about that's buying such trash for your kids and conditioning your kids with that frame of mind, of aggression, of hostility towards others, shame on you. And you need to check yourself. That's what I say. You need to check yourself. I want you to look up that study, Bandura's Bobo doll experiment, and I want you to actually just take note of what happened in that experiment. And I also want you to write a list of things that you do. Write a list of your television shows that you watch, whether it be negative or positive. And I want you to take a closer look at how these television shows are made to condition you. Made to condition your thoughts and your actions. And you don't even know it. Half the time, you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. You need to be more mindful. Then, I want you to take a closer look at our television commercials. So not only do I want you to look at the shows that you're watching on TV because, it's spewing a whole bunch of hate and negativity. There are some positive shows that you need to be watching, okay? But I want you to take a look at the commercials. There's a whole field of psychology that's called consumer psychology, okay? Where psychologists actually go and take a deeper look, a scientific approach to you, the consumer, and what would make you buy certain items. They're not working for you. They're working for the big businesses. The big businesses want to know, what do they have to do? How could they condition your mind? How could they trigger your mind so you could buy their product more, in greater quantity, and more often? This is Dr. Bev Knox from BevKnox.com taking a closer look at Albert Bandura's Bobo doll experiment and how what we watch, what we observe from others via the media, whether it's the television or newspapers or computers or what have you, have a direct influence on how we think and how we act.